Hey there, welcome to CodeChef. Today we are going to be discussing the project Digital Clock and Countdown Timer from our course Java Projects for Beginners, where we have 10 different Java projects from which beginners can get familiar with Java. So on the right side we have how our final project should look like. Basically we should be able to display a digital clock or ask the user to give an input number of seconds, and based on which we will count down. Let's say user gives 30 seconds, we're going to count down from 30 till 0, including every single number. So let's just see how this works once. So you can see I'm getting current time, which is being updated every second. So coming to the flow of this particular project, this is pretty simple. So first you're going to ask the user whether they want us to show the digital clock or give a countdown timer. And if users give digital clock, that is option 1, then what we are going to do is we are going to print out the current time, which is being updated every second. Similarly, if the user asks for countdown timer, we're going to ask the user to give an input number of seconds, and we're going to count down from that second till 0, where every second the new time has to be printed out in the same line. Now coming to the first subtask of the digital clock and countdown timer project, we are going to be handling user input in this particular subtask. Basically, if user wants digital clock, then we are going to ask the user to give an input of 1, and if user wants countdown timer, we're going to ask to give an input of 2. So the objective of this particular subtask is to work on the user choice function, and as I explained previously, you have to achieve the following. And one thing I forgot to mention is that we have to give an error message if user gives anything else. Like let's say when we ask the user to give input seconds, if the user gives a string, then we're going to print out invalid choice. Coming to the code, we're going to import the scanner class from the java.util package, and then in the public class CodeChef, we're going to initialize the scanner object using scanner is equal to new scanner system.in. And basically from this object, we will be calling the scanner.nextLine and the scanner.nextInt function, which is going to take input as string and integer respectively. In the main function, we're going to give while true to run an infinite loop, and then we're going to print out choose an option digital clock countdown timer. And then over here, choice will store the choice given by the user in the form of string. That is, user is going to give number input, but it's going to be stored as string in the choice variable. So over here we have scanner.nextLine. So dot remover here is basically going to remove any white spaces which may be present at the start or end of the input given by the user. It basically helps in normalizing the input given by the user. And then we're going to pass it to the user choice method. Now coming to the user choice method, we're going to take in choice as an input over here, which is of type string. And in the user choice method, we have if else conditions over here. So in the first if condition, if choice equals 1, we're going to call the digital clock function. And else if choice equals 2, we're going to print out enter the number of seconds to count down. And then we're going to store the input given by the user in the seconds variable. Here we are showing the input given by the user in integer format. And then we're going to call the countdown timer function, which is going to take the seconds given by the user as an input. And in any other case, that is when user gives 3, 4 or any kind of string, then we're going to print out invalid choice. Right now we haven't updated the digital clock and countdown timer function, which will be updated in the further subtasks. So let's just run this code once. So you can see we've got an option to choose between digital clock and countdown timer. Let's say I give countdown timer and we give number of seconds as 6. So you can see I've got an output saying counting down from 6 seconds. Right now it cannot count down because you haven't defined it yet. Now let's just submit this code once. So we passed all 3 test cases. Let's move on to the next subtask.